Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Crystal, and today I'm going to be showing you guys how I do my full coverage foundation routine. And you can wear this absolutely anywhere. Normally I do this if I'm going somewhere special, or sometimes when I just want to be a little extra. There are those days when I wear full coverage foundation. If you guys want your skin to look really flawless, or if you're just going to any event and your photo is going to be taken, this is like my go-to foundation routine. If you guys are interested in my full coverage foundation routine, then just keep on watching. Okay, so the very first thing that I do is I pick a foundation that is one shade lighter than my skin tone. So I have here my L'Oreal Infallible Pro Matte foundation in the shade Caramel. It's too orangey for my skin tone, so I go ahead and mix it with my Covergirl Ready Set Gorgeous foundation in the shade Beige, medium beige. And this foundation is a tad bit lighter for me, so if I'm just gonna wear this alone, it's gonna look too white, and this is like too orangey for me, so I just mix these two. So these two combined is just the perfect color for me. I just squeeze some on the back of my hand, and if I have time, I mix it in a mixing plate, but since I'm kind of in a hurry, I'm just gonna do it like this. I don't really need to be precise with this, but I'm just applying a generous amount of this since I want a full coverage. I'm gonna go ahead and apply the L'Oreal one on the rest of my face. Okay, so I'm just going to apply this shade right between the Covergirl, and this is just gonna make it blend a lot easier. I don't know if you can see, but the L'Oreal one is orangey and the Covergirl is too light for me, so this is just going to be the perfect mixture. Okay, so this is a damp beauty blender, and I just blend this into my skin. And honestly, I didn't even moisturize my skin. I just, I applied the foundation directly into my skin. And I love using beauty sponges and beauty blenders just because you'll get a more natural finish, and at the same time, if you have a full coverage foundation, it really helps intensify the coverage even more, because you're patting it and you're not swiping the foundation away. And the sponge really helps you pack on the coverage. And even if you applied a lot of foundation on your face, it makes the blending a lot easier, because if you're gonna use a brush, sometimes it looks really streaky. So it just really blends the product for you. All you have to do is just pat it like this, and then until you get a nice even coverage. So just really take time to blend, and if you feel like it's not yet blended on some areas of your face, just make sure to blend those in, because it's so easy with a sponge. The rest of your makeup really depends on your foundation. If you have a really nice foundation, everything else will just follow. And if I feel like I applied too much foundation, I go ahead and turn my sponge like this. So I'm using the side where there's no product. I'm just going to blend it even more. So this is just going to take off any excess foundation that doesn't need to be there. This will help your foundation look less cakey. This is just gonna make it look more natural and more skin-like, and not like cake on your face. Okay, so if I just have some spots to cover, or if I just want to Photoshop my skin, I use my Time Balm concealer in the shade Medium. I love this concealer because it has full coverage, and it's kind of waterproof. It doesn't really budge once it's on your skin, so I like it. And it's a thick formula. It's perfect for covering spots. And sometimes I like to use this to like lighten the sides of my mouth like this, because sometimes it gets dark there for some reason. And then here I have veins showing through, and then I just cover those with this concealer. Sometimes I apply this on the inner corner of my eyes because this area is a little bit dark. I go ahead and apply it there because it's just the perfect color, and it's not too light. It doesn't look ashy, so it has a little bit of like a peachy undertone, so it's going to cover those dark circles. And then I have this small beauty sponge and then just focusing the concealer only where I applied it and not blending it out too much because, like I said, I'm covering something, veins, those dark circles, and some spots. So you might want to focus the concealer just right where you applied it so that it won't move too much far from that spot. As you can see, it really brightened up this area. So that's what I do. Okay, so for concealer, I use my Maybelline Fit Me concealer in the shade Sand. It's full coverage, and at the same time, it really brightens up my under eye area, and it's really nice for highlighting the face. And for me, I always like to highlight my nose bridge, my chin, and a little bit on my forehead, and this does a good job highlighting your face. I just apply it like this. And sometimes I make a triangle like this, but I learned from Wayne Goss that if you apply it like this, like a triangle shape, you will end up applying too much and then you don't really have like room for blending. It's really hard to blend when you blend out your concealer because if you apply way too much product, it's gonna be like unnatural. So this side, if you apply only on the half of your under eye, you still have room for blending. With this method, you're applying less product as you're blending out. For under eye area, you're concealing the inner part of your under eye more than this area. So I think that with this one, it's going to look more natural as you blend it out. This one, as you can see, it looks super white, and this one looks more nicely blended. If you are going for a super highlighted under eye area, go ahead and do it. It looks beautiful as well, so it just really depends on what you want. I also apply it on my chin, on my nose bridge, going down. And then what I also like to do is to make my cheeks look more plump. I apply this on the sides of my nose. So this is just going to balance the highlight of my face, because if my under eye area looks so light and then here it looks dark, it's not gonna look normal. So yeah, so I'm just trying to balance the color of my face. And again, I'm using the small sponge for this. As you've seen earlier, I didn't really apply any primer or moisturizer on my face. I just applied my foundation directly on my skin because sometimes primers and moisturizers doesn't work for me under foundation. I have really oily skin. And the problem with that is if I apply primer, my foundation melts so much faster than without primer. So I think maybe I still haven't found a primer that will make my foundation long lasting. Sometimes I have dry areas on between my brows or like on my nose, but I don't really like applying moisturizer on my entire face when I do my foundation. But that is just me. I have oily skin, and I know that a lot of people say that you still need to moisturize your skin even if you have oily skin. But if I'm gonna wear foundation and I want it to stay all day, like I skip that step. I use moisturizer only when I really need it. Okay, so now it's time to set my foundation. So one of my all-time favorite setting powders is the RCMA No Color Powder, and the reason why I love this is because it's a no color powder, so it means it's translucent. It's not going to change or alter the color of your foundation. So whatever color you have now, it's going to stay the same if you use the setting powder. So it doesn't have any pigment, so it's just perfect for setting your foundation and making it last all day. If you just want to mattify your face without adding color, this is the perfect setting powder. Some powders tend to darken my skin or lighten my skin. I don't want that, especially when I'm in a hurry. I don't want to think of what powder I need to use. So this is just one of those that is just perfect for when you're on the go. So something you need to do before you set your under eye concealer, take your sponge again and use the clean side. You're gonna make sure to smooth out the creases under your eyes, and this is how much I put. And then I look up so that to make sure that there's no creases. And I just apply a lot, like if I really want this to stay long. And I do the same on my nose bridge. This is like a baking method, but I don't really wait. On my eyelids, I forgot to tell you guys that these sponges are damp, and this one is damp as well. So even when I apply my translucent powder, these sponges are still damp. So you don't really need to get a dry sponge for this if you're setting your foundation with setting powder. It works perfectly because it helps melt the powder naturally into your skin. It just helps melt the powder so it won't look cakey. And then don't forget your neck because you applied foundation there. After I do that step, I use my Beauty Cosmetics D22 brush. What do you call this? Pointed brush. And then I use this to buff out the excess powder, and as well as it just helps me smooth out that powder on my face as well. And yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and contour my nose. I just use any light brown, very matte powder like this, and then I just start from here down to my nose bridge. And I'm just making sure that I make a straight line like this. So make sure to make a straight line from here down like that. So, and what I like to do is I add more here, and it's just gonna make your nose look more nice. And your nose is actually very, very important because it's the center of your face. And I blend out the contour of my nose. I like to move my head to the side and then make sure there's no harsh line there, because you don't want harsh lines, especially for your nose contour. Okay guys, so that's really it for my foundation routine. After this, I normally do my eye makeup, and then after my eye makeup, I apply my bronzer, my contour, and my blush, lips. So this routine gives you a perfect base for the rest of your makeup. And this will last long on your face as well. I really love this foundation routine. Sometimes I switch my foundations just because I have a lot and I need to use them up, because otherwise they're just gonna expire for nothing. These two foundations are actually really long lasting. The Ready Set Gorgeous foundation is oil-free, and it says here lasts all day, as well as the L'Oreal Infallible 24 hours foundation. These two together, the bomb. But if you have dry skin, this might not be the foundation routine for you, but you can use a foundation that is like more moisturizing than this. But like I said, it really works for me, so I hope it works for you as well. So I already did my brows, by the way, before I did this foundation routine. So normally I go ahead and apply my brows first before my foundation, because sometimes if I do my foundation first, some of the foundation gets in my brows and I hate that. So yeah, so most of the time I do my brows first and then foundation. So I'm actually ready to do the rest of my makeup. So that's it for today. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, please leave this video a big thumbs up, and please don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Click the notification bell so that you'll be notified whenever I post a new video, and I will see you guys again next time.